So, welcome everyone. Welcome to Frank Analysis. I am your host, Franco. I am pleased to be joined by special guest, Kim Iversen of The Kim Iversen Show. Thank you very much for being here, Kim. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm doing better than you are right now because I know you were demonetized, which is just crap. Do you have any idea of why you think it happened to you? Do you have any theories?
I don't. It might be because seeing as how who else got demonetized, I've collaborated with Nico and Convo Couch, so maybe they found me through there. But then I'm also seeing somebody like Jackson Hinkle. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he was leading the Forced to Vote protest that happened in DC, but they haven't hit him yet. It might also be topics. Like I've had like Steve Poitkin, I don't know if you know him from Action for Assange and Slow News Day. I had him on the show. We talked about the Great Reset. He's talked about like the Convo Couch. Nico have also talked about that. So I don't know if it's because of that. I don't know if it's because I was talking about the Stop the Steal rally. Like I was streaming and talking about that. So I'm just as confused as YouTube made their email because they're like they didn't tell me like which videos. They just said look at the terms and conditions and then decide for yourself based off of those freaking hours of content that I have.
Right. You bring something up that I hadn't thought about before, and I don't mean to implicate anybody, but maybe there is some cross-contamination there that they didn't like because you just mentioned, so you had been on the Convo Couch's show. When I asked Graham if he had talked about the Stop the Steal stuff or election fraud or whatever, he said that he had Convo Couch on his show to debate that because he didn't agree with, any election stuff. And then I know Jamal Thomas had also been on the Convo Couch. Maybe the Convo Couch was like ground zero for this whole thing because obviously Nico and the Convo Couch, if you'd had the Convo Couch on your show, if you've been on theirs recently, Graham said he had them on his show. Jamal had been on their show. I'm trying to think of who else was demonetized that appeared on their show but wouldn't that be something if that was like if we just figured out what and also Cyber Demon, I didn't know this, but that Cyber Demon chick, I didn't know that she was also connected to like Nico and that she had appeared or Nico had appeared on her show recently or she had appeared on Nico's. I'm not really sure, but I know that she also had joined the circle, had been in the guest circle of those shows.
Yeah, I was going to say, you brought up something interesting, like Cyber Demon. She doesn't agree with us on a lot of issues.
Right,
but she was on Nico's show because he was restreaming like the debate that they were having together. And then I guess YouTube, they can't tell like, oh, they just see you on the show and then they just like put you all in the same category, even if you disagree.
Yeah. So maybe that is, maybe there's some correlation there that if anybody, when you guys all got together and talked about election meddling or fraud or anything like that, that maybe you guys all got flagged for having that conversation with each other.
Yeah. So you've been warning on your show about the Biden administration and how they were going to accelerate censorship more than the Trump administration would. This is something that you and I saw coming because I was talking about this too. Although I didn't think it would happen like a week and a half after his inauguration.
Seriously.
What are your thoughts on like, do you think that they're going to come after more channels after this?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think right now they're just trying to figure out I think that they probably will come after more. It depends on, because they're increasingly desperate and they've become more and more increasingly desperate as time has gone on. You notice this like, even after Trump won in 2016, it was, because he's a Russian puppet, right? He's Putin's puppet. He's a Russian agent, all this stuff. And that it was the narrative for a long time. And it was also calling a bunch of people racist. It was the racists that voted for Trump and Trump is in the pocket of Putin and all this. And then it's now escalated and we've seen that it's escalated over time. And now they're calling these people, not only are all Republicans racist, but now they're domestic terrorists and radical. And they're continuing down this like always more desperate narrative. And so we've seen the silencing in the beginning. It started off with people like Milo Yiannopoulos, right? When he wasn't allowed to speak at certain universities, and then Ben Shapiro was canceled, I think, from a university or whatever. And so they started off on this sort of censoring that was just for the people that, like Milo, that they thought, well, he's way too far right, so we can't have Milo on, at our university. And people thought, well, it's okay because it's just Milo. He's really radical and he has some really radical ideas, and so it's fine. And then it went on to more other conservative voices. And then we saw it move to even mainstream conservative voices. And then we saw it move on to the president of the United States. If they're going to censor the president of the United States, this is how desperate they are. And so, of course, they've now moved on to the left, and they've moved on to lefties who are against the establishment narrative. And so they're starting off with the ones that they think are maybe the most fringe of the lefties, and they're just going to work their way until it's censoring anybody and everybody who criticizes the administration. And they'll say, well, it's all in the name of preventing radicalization and domestic terrorism. So yeah, I think I'm next.
Yeah, and then it'll eventually get to like Jimmy Dore, like.
Oh, he's next too. Because he's already, he's got that sort of radical personality, right? And